So I've been seeing a lot of Terran mech on the ladder recently, and this is a game against one of them, and then I also have a game afterward that was against a more traditional bio play. Just want to kind of take a look at both of those. I'm doing my opener I've been doing for a long time, which is 17 hatch and then 18 gas, 18 pool. It dies to a lot of cheeses, but I've been seeing mostly macro games, so that's okay. And when I say a lot of cheeses, it dies to like bunker rushes and that kind of thing. You're actually okay against some of the other stuff that can be out there. It's mostly the bunker rushes or the proxy 2 and 3 racks that are a bit of a problem. I have been starting to extractor trick to get a 15th drone sooner all the time. And this particular game, I am thinking I'm going to play Lingbane Hydra or Lingbane Muta if my opponent is playing Bio. And if I see that they're going mech, I'm obviously going to go into Roaches and then later Hydralisks. So my opponent's not doing anything unusual in the opener. And like I said, I'm doing my standard. I guess I do get over here with the first Overlord and see there's a Marine already and not a Reaper, so that is actually a little bit unusual. So I know I'm not getting a Reaper pressure because they won't have a Marine out yet if they were doing a Reaper pressure. And I don't think I went back and double checked exactly how many Marines there were, but I went, oh well, I better see what's going on with my other Overlord here. Because at the front I know I'm not getting anywhere because I saw at least 2 Marines. I know there's a couple things they can do. There's this battle cruiser pressure thing that you can do off of it, or you could just be trying to hide what you're doing if you're going bio or mech. So I come in from the other direction with Overlord. Okay, well there's a tech lab on a barracks, or sorry, on a factory there. And there's a second factory up here. Okay, this tells me they're going mech because you don't have 2 factories at this time if you're not going for a mech army. So I know that I need to get a Roach Warren, so I start one. I also start at third base. This is maybe a little ambitious. I don't really have the units to defend it. But I also know I want to keep them from getting the Hellions in to kill my whole drone line, because that's the thing they're going to have with the mech army. You don't have anything else to do with your minerals except to make a bunch of Hellions at a certain point. Kind of bad. I get supply blocked here rather badly because I let them get in here with the Cyclone and just kill off all my Overlords, which then makes it so I can't really make more units to defend this space. I do manage to cancel at the last second. That's good. My Queens, though, have no business being down the ramp. They need to be here. My Roaches pop just in time to defend this attack, and I do have +1 armor going. That's always the first thing you get against Terran. Sadly, I think my opponent ends up killing +1 armor before it finishes here. I did manage to get my wall back up without my opponent running in, so that's good for me. But that's just because they didn't choose to run in. If they had run in, they could have killed all my drones right here. So I know at this point, okay, well my Roaches that I'm making are going to defend this. I've got a new sort of wall against the Hellions. And I saw with this Overlord, my opponent still does not have a natural, so they are pretty all in. I need to just really, really defend. I'm still going to try to take my third base just to have more production here, but it's not... I'm not thinking I'm going to get a lot of workers at it or anything, because I can see from... If we look at my vision, I can see from this Overlord that there's still not a base here. So unless there's a hidden base, which seems unlikely considering the number of units I've been seeing, then my opponent has not expanded yet. See, it goes down in vision of my Overlord. Like, okay, great. So it's going to be a while before another attack. I'm just getting all my upgrades, so now I'm getting +1 missile because I know my opponent's going back. So I know I want Roaches and eventually Hydralisks. Getting the Roach speed upgrade. I get Baneling speed just because it's an inexpensive investment to make, and you can make Zerglings and Banelings to prevent Hellion run-bys. So I haven't really checked on what my opponent's doing in a while, other than I do see that with this Overlord still here. I'm going to go defend my third this time, because I have enough units now. so it's not going to die. I kind of overchase the... I screw up there and don't actually click on the roaches that are low health to turn them into the Ravagers, because they regain their full hit points when they pop as Ravagers. That's alright. See, I did it right in front of them that time, and that was bad. So I overextend a little bit and get a couple of roaches picked off. I didn't need to against the Cyclones, but I've held it relatively well here. My opponent is just now starting to mine off this space at 8 minutes into the game, which is very late. I'm about to have 1-1 finished. My roach speed is already finished. I'm trying to get some creep out to where I can see more stuff. This army is actually kind of in a bad position. I should have it more like here so that it can defend if my opponent runs some Hellions either up this ramp or toward this base. Looks like they're just standing. So I do realize this at some point and come toward the middle of the map and go, wait, what's going on? Find my opponent here. Like, okay, well, I can probably clean this up with my pretty tanky army. And during all of this, I'm taking a fourth as well, with the idea that I'll go to a later game. Because I think I've stopped my opponent from killing me with the all-in. See, they just got their first Thor. But this is a very battle mech style of army. It's not a tank-based army. They want to run around and fight with Cyclones and Hellions and Thors. And that's fine. I'm making an army that counters it because I saw what was going on earlier. No wonder I'm winning so hard. My opponent has not finished a single attack upgrade or armor upgrade. Okay. So eventually I wander over this way, figuring, well, it didn't seem like my opponent was on the map, so let's go take the fight to them. I think I just finished... Well, no, I'm partway through an upgrade, but at any rate, I get over here, I see there's not very much of an army, so I just kill it off, and that's the end of the game. So after this one, I played against a more traditional Terran opponent who was... Let's see, you can see my title about how awesome I am against multi-prong there. So these were both opponents who are in a slightly higher division than I am. They're in Diamond, Diamond Platinum. But, you know, I beat Diamond players sometimes. Low Diamond. But in this particular one, things get really messy in the mid-game. And we kind of get base tradey. And I think I could do a better job of it. So let's get to actually that point. So again, I'm just doing my normal opener of the 17 hatch, 18 gas, 18 pool. And on this map is gigantic. It's really hard to do some of those super early cheeses here because the map is just so large. When I get over here, I see they're already making their second command center. This all looks normal at the front. I'm going to send in another Overlord here momentarily to just verify what's going on. Okay, 1-1-1 so far. That's not anything, but... You know, I shoot the Hellion and a couple Reapers away from my third base. There's some more Hellions standing here, but I have things to hopefully defend that. So I did send in my Overlord again, and I see, oh hey, there's 3 more barracks going down. That means they're going to be playing Bio. Okay. That means I need Banelings. I need the melee upgrades. My opponent's looking over here for my third, and I think this is actually a better place maybe to take it because... it's more defensible. There's really only this one ramp up to it, and this is where you go into my natural anyway. Where over here I have to defend against both people coming through the speed zone as well as there's this lower ramp. And I get punished for that in a minute here. So I do some micro back and forth against their Hellions. I have my safety Roach Warren. That's good. I need to be making my layer. No, my layer's already done, so I need to be making my speed upgrades for my units. Right, I accidentally start a missile and then realize, whoops, I need melee. My opponent's still got the Hellions over here, cleaning up creep. I need to be making more queens, actually, to respread that, and for other safety reasons. I haven't really checked what my opponent is doing in a while. And my creep spread is just very sad at this point. You know, I should have some out to like here and here and here. But because I'm not making enough queens, it's not happening. My resources are also getting very high because I am not doing a good job of spending my larva as soon as it pops. See, I've got 10 available there and I'm supply blocked. 80 out of 82. Oof, and when do I even realize this? Because I haven't started an overlord yet at all. Right now when I try to make zerglings, and I can make 2 pairs of zerglings. So I start 4 overlords, that's absolutely correct, but I need to have this done already. I don't know why I'm bringing these zerglings back. Oh, I think I saw these guys moving out, so I'm coming back to hopefully defend my base. I make some roaches just for safety. See, my opponent's going to get down here on this space that's very good to assault onto me from. I don't have creep spread down there to see it. I'm not really in position. My army is kind of over near my fourth. So yeah, my opponent kills half my worker line. I do get the queen up here, and that's okay, but I'm way too late to that. I need to have better vision and better ability to stop them. I should also be making a spire right now. Okay, well that's good. I do see that I made the spire. But I'm still floating a lot of resources here. Okay, well I don't have tons and tons of larvae, but floating all these resources makes me think maybe I should be having a macro hatch, and since I am playing a Ling heavy style, I definitely should have at least 1, maybe even 2 macro hatches at this point to just make even more units from. So even if I miss injects, you know, I can still make enough units. Ideally, you hit your injects every single time. You know, that's a great ideal. I did make a Nidus network that I end up never using because I never have a spare second. Like it would take me more APM to use it than I'd be getting in return for damage. So right here in the real mid game is about to start. I'm working on 2-2. My opponent's 1-1 is about to finish. I'm making some Udas to try to clean up the Medivacs. Or actually, I think it's to harass. And then later I'm going to make Corruptors to actually deal with the Medivacs. So here I'm just out on the map. I don't have vision here, which is a problem because my opponent just drops 16 Marines and comes in and snipes this hatch for free while I'm on the wrong side of the map. I did at least force them to cancel a base, but this is very bad. So see, I have these roaches now. This is maybe a few too many roaches. I think I could have got away with only 8 and make the rest into literally anything else. Oh, I actually missed what that was in game. I'll go back and see what that was that was killing the mutas. Oh, it was the Viking? Okay, so here's the mutalisks. They're going up here. We saw what happened with the one down here where my 4th got killed, and that's often a point of contention in Zerg versus Terran, so that's not unusual. I, again, could have been better positioned to handle that. Okay, Mutas, where are you at? I see, so they were, a couple of them came and fought the Viking, but, oh, they actually got the Viking, not the other way around. Okay. In the game, I actually did click over here and I saw something had died. I went, wait, what? But it was actually the Viking that had died. Alright. No, one of my mutas died too, because I made 7. There's only 6 here. Alright. So, I retake this base. Oh, it's so bad. I don't even go over here and check on that. I head back up here to do some counterattacking. And that actually goes pretty well, but things get really messy at this part of the game. And that does tend to favor the player who has just more experience in those situations. So my mutas here almost fly over a bunch of Marines. I do manage to save that. My roaches get in here into their 3rd base. Then my Lings and Banes all come through. But my opponent also has this squad of counterattackers and this squad of counterattackers. So, my mutas, I'm so bad with the mutas there. They just fly over bio for no real reason. I did manage to clean up that third base and even walk into the natural, but my opponent at the same time is at my third, at my natural, kills my Baneling nest, which I don't actually realize for a couple minutes. Like I'm trying to bring back some Ling Bane to clean this up. And these are new roaches that popped here, because again I'm trying to just tank this all up. I've left all this army at their natural, and it's destroying things really well. So that's good. See, there's their lifted thirds they got. Forced them to lift their natural. I didn't lose my third here, I didn't lose my fourth, but I don't have any workers at either of them, so that's an issue. But I have a lot of unspent money. So if I had more hatcheries, or if I had a better gas ratio here, if I had been starting to mine gas a little bit sooner, like I've never had gas up at this base, even when it was saturated, I'd have had the gas killed here and not put gas back on there, so I could make, you know, more high-tech units like corruptors. I should also be starting an infestation pit now and the hive in a moment, but I do that too late. So I get stuck on this mid-game tech, this Lingbane Muta with some roaches, and you know, it's good to have my opponent trapped in their base, but my opponent does have a scary army. So they come down here with their bio, they kill the roaches. Here's more roaches. They are too late to save their brethren. They should get out of here. I've got the Muta set up over here to be able to dive in on some workers if they get a second. See, these roaches only went this far. They should have run all the way home, and they didn't. So they just got picked off for no reason. I also don't think I ever got an attack upgrade for roaches. Yeah, so that's also, they're not the most effective. But I'm still floating a lot of money here, so I need to be making more hatcheries to produce more. So I do fly in the mutas. I get a bunch more workers. Well, some more workers. I do force my opponent home, which is good. And what I should be doing right now is making a bunch of lings, but I'm making roaches, which I don't have upgrades for, so that's just bad. I should be making more hatcheries, more zerglings, more queens. That's the only things I should be making right now. And then once things stabilize a little bit more, I can work on maybe getting some corruptors and try to go greater spire. But so that's just, I've just made a mistake here. I don't have my infestation pit down. I haven't realized I need to rebuild my Baneling nest. No, I did, but that was much later than it could have been. I'm putting all this money. I don't have enough gas, so I haven't made more gas again. Haven't put gas back here. Not making more queens. So I got my opponent into a place that was very bad for them, and then I failed to capitalize on the advantages I had, which is my opponent was stuck in their base. And what I could have been doing was just making so many bases to have so much production that I would just overwhelm my opponent later. But because I didn't do that, my opponent's able to break out and I never quite recover and never have enough production to actually make the units to overwhelm them. So yeah, they get my spawning pool, which is very bad. I start making another here. I should really have started that in the natural, because they're going to be able to kill this one too. And then I'm also going to have an issue with needing to remake my lair to even try to get a hive. So this game goes on for another 10 minutes, but this is where I've lost, for sure. Lost probably 3 or 4 minutes ago when I didn't make 2 or 3 more bases, an infestation pit, and start going for a hive. And eventually what happens is my opponent just ends up with every single base on the top of the map here. They keep killing off all my bases down here. I just never quite get up to production to be able to do anything ever again. They get their bio to 3-3. I never get past 2-2 on my Ling Bane. I guess I only ever got the attack upgrade for the mutas. Not that I have any of those anymore. I do at some point go, oh, I should be making corruptors to pick off the medevacs instead of mutas, because they'll actually be able to take a shot from the Marines and not die. Mutas are great for harassment, and if you have your whole army under them, they can be okay, but by themselves they can't engage anything at all. I get really blind on the map here again, because I have no creep here, or here, or out here, where it should all be at this point in the game. Because again, I didn't remake the queens. So, like I said, the game goes on for another several minutes, but it's been over. I'm making more roaches again, and again, that's definitely not correct. That gas needs to be going into corruptors or banelings. And so, yeah, my pump pulls me over there, and then I don't have enough army to be there and here. And so it just kind of repeats like that several more times as the game goes on. And I keep having less and less supply as we engage. And you see I'm down to 24 workers as well. So I think this game ends up being 20-some minutes long, but it's not something that... This has been over since about minute 12 or 13, somewhere in that range. This is just a really, really long death animation, effectively. I get a greater spire, but I run out of minerals to even make any brood lords. By the time that finishes, I can afford one brood lord. My opponent has the entire top of the map and this giant 3/3 mech army. So that's just the end of that game. Alright, thank you guys. See you in the next one.